febrile imagination. Nalagnat ka kasi palagi eh. Tumigil ka na nga ng pagkahabol sa mga babae para gumaling ka. My husband already owned and drove a Ford Mustang sports car as a senior in law school. This tale of a Toyota is a non-issue. Bakit kami hahabol ng Toyota? Di Mercedes na ako. Asawa ko, estudyante pa lang sa UP College of Law, naka-Toyota Mustang na. In his speech, as is his annoying habit, Enrile praised himself by boasting of his alleged martial arts prowess, which he has never displayed. Magaling daw siya. Eksperto daw siya sa martial arts. Pero hanggang ngayon, hindi natin nakikita yung martial arts niyang pinagmamalaki. He also boasted of his high grade in the bar exam with the non sequitur that I had a low grade. Abay, gusto pala niyang magpakasikat. Bakit maghahanap pa siya ng taong aapakan niya para sumikat siya? In UP at that time, many of our professors taught us to devote ourselves to the Socratic method and pay no attention to the bar, which they belittled. So I paid no attention. Particularly since what I wanted to do, contrary to my father's wishes at that time, was to avail of a rare scholarship in Moscow, which was a no-zone country insofar as Philippine foreign policy was concerned. In the United States, the bar exam is considered clerical. Any dean of admission of a top law school ignores any claim by Filipino applicants of achievement in the bar exams, and are surprised when an applicant from the Philippines puts it in his resume. Instead, the criterion of choice is membership in the Law Journal, which is the acid test of academic excellence in America and Europe. Enrile demands that I should answer the charges of his attack dog, former Senator Pinky Lacson. Mr. Dementia has forgotten that the Senate Legal Office this year promptly upheld me in a written opinion. The Senate, as a matter of policy, allows senators to maintain satellite offices in premises owned by the senator. That is official Senate policy. That is found in the legal opinion of the Senate Legal Office after this charge made against me. The legal opinion revealed that the amount I charged, 70,000 pesos, 70,000 pesos monthly for 403 square meters on the 4th floor of the office building. Never raised from the time I first became senator until now, 70,000 ang bibayad ng Senado para sa 400 square meters, and that is an office building. Hindi naman bahay ko yan, hindi naman garahe ko yan, kamukha ng ginawa ng ibang senador. Office building yan, registered and taxes paid as an office and commercial building. Is one of the lowest in the Senate. The other charge is that I own the multipurpose hall of the Rizal provincial government. Together with a few other senators, I gave a modest amount of pork barrel to help fund its construction undertaken by the Rizal provincial government. This charge is asinine. Lacson, like his mastermind, seems to be approaching dementia too. Biro mo, pag-aari ko raw ang Rizal Provincial Multipurpose Hall. Niregister ko daw sa Tarlac, hindi naman ako taga-Tarlac. Ang isang Toyota, na ako ng registered owner ng isang Mercedes. Anong klaseng isipan itong mga ito? Let me tell you about Ria Lacson. As PNP chief, he coveted the post of DILG secretary, which at that time was occupied by Ronaldo Puno. In his overwhelming desire to become Interior Secretary, Lacson gathered an incriminating file of documents showing that Puno ordered all policemen nationwide to take a drug test, but only with a certain specific laboratory, which turned out to be a small, cheap apartment. Lahat ng kapulisan sa buong bansa gusto ng DILG at that time na kumuha ng drug test na babayaran nila. Doon, na hinanap ng media at pinakita sa television, yun palang laboratory na yon, hindi man lang pala office building yan, apartment, na luma na. The cunning and scheming Lacson gave me the file. I exposed the corrupt scandal and engaged in a bitter word war with Puno, who hired a lawyer for the sole purpose of character assassination against me. During this time of poisonous hostilities, mostly fought in media, Lacson hopped on a plane to Hong Kong in order to avoid any suspicion of complicity in the expose. Binigyan niya ako ng papel para maiskandalo ang boss niya na gusto niyang palitan at nagtago doon sa Hong Kong habang inaatake ako ng kanyang boss. What a jerk. He returned after it was all over and Puno had been damaged. His cowardly retreat from this proxy battle is a standard joke in gatherings of his classmates at the Philippine Military Academy. Marami pa akong kwento tungkol kay Lacson, but it's not that time. Why is Enrile so close to Lacson? When a Manila Regional Trial Court issued a warrant of arrest against Lacson, he jumped bail and became a fugitive from justice. Nagtago yan eh. May warrant of arrest against him. Lahat tayo, pag na-warrant of arrest, kailangan mag-surrender ka sa korte, ikukulong ka. Maliban lang kung makapagpiyansa ka. Pero siya, hindi. Natakot ka agad ng nagtago. That is a crime in itself. TV repeatedly showed a footage of Lacson leaving the airport. Paulit-ulit. Umalis daw ng bansa. Si Lacson napakita doon sa airport. But many believe that Enrile provided safe haven in Cagayan to Lacson. That is why these two men are so close. It can only be called a relationship with feelings. This early, Pinky Lacson's propaganda team is already touting him as a presidential candidate for 2016. His credential is that he has been given an administrative job in disaster relief efforts in the Visayas. Yun ang maging platform niya para maging presidential candidate siya in 2016. Malacanang issued the appointment just to abort the endless stream of his self-serving press releases whenever there was a vacancy in customs, immigration, or even in the non-vacant post of anti-crime czar already held by the executive secretary. His latest caper took his campaign at self-projection to the level of the absurd when his own press release reported that a former policeman, pulis lang, he allegedly delivered a lecture on constitutional law as part of Enile's effort to shift attention from PDAF to DAP. Challenge to public debate. After this speech, I respectfully declined to yield the floor for interpellation. I rose to answer the personal attack against me, and interpellation will merely serve to waste the time of the Senate. I shall also leave immediately after the speech with your indulgence, Mr. President and colleagues in the Senate, because I am ill with chronic fatigue syndrome. In conclusion, as I did in the past, I challenge Enrile to a public televised debate on the plundered charge against him, face to face. Huwag kang mag-upa ng attack dog mo. Ikaw ang humarap sa akin. Tayong dalawa. Doon sa UP, dahil pareho tayong UP graduate. Sumagot ka! A televised debate on the plundered charge against him, including his illegal and immoral use of the Senate President's discretionary fund to distribute nearly 2 million pesos as Christmas bonus last year to each senator, except for 4 senators, whom he considers his political enemies, led by me. It should be held at the UP Malcolm Theater in the College of Law, and only students with valid IDs should be allowed to prevent Enrile from renting a partisan crowd. The first time I challenged Enrile to a debate, he declined and instead called on Lacson to shower me with near-illiterate insults, including an oxymoron. If this second time Enrile again evades debate, this will be an admission that he is the mastermind of the plunder of some 10 billion pesos of the taxpayers' money, and that is insulting me on a personal level, not on the level of principles or policies, but on a personal, prohibited level. He is insulting me on a personal level as a diversionary tactic and as a smokescreen for his criminality. No matter how devilish his power, and no matter how fabulous his ill-gotten wealth, I refuse to be coerced by Enrile. Justice should be done, though the heavens fall. I am fortified by my faith. According to the poet, mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible sword, his truth is marching on. Thank you.
Majority Leader,
Mr. President, may I request a 1-minute suspension?
suspended 1 minute.